Wandering through the great plains of life, things move fast, sometimes a blur. Don't you let this bumpy road separate you from the herd. And when you think the day is done, the sun is getting low, we're all looking for something rare, the great white buffalo. The Great White Buffalo Podcast with Ben Mayfield.
A phobia of that?
Of what?
It's not as bad as it used to be, though.
A throw up phobia.
Yeah.
Wait, you have what type of?
She has a vom phobia.
A vomit phobia?
Emetophobia.
It's
is that what it's called?
Emetophobia.
Emma, what is it? Emma?
You're not allowed to
Metaphobia, sorry.
Yeah, so what does that mean? You're afraid of vomit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid to
Like,
throw
what?
up. Oh, stop.
Like, what if
Ben.
other people vomit, or is it just you vomiting?
No, I can't.
So if I
all
vomit,
kinds.
what does that make you do?
No.
Vomit as well?
Like, I will freak out and have an anxiety attack.
Because I'm sick?
Yes.
Right?
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
My father, it was a couple weeks ago, it was during Christmas holidays, was driving me. I had a migraine, like a sharp, like huge, like pain in my head. I don't know if you ever had a migraine before. It's like a sharp pain. First, your vision goes a little blurry a little bit. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then a sharp pain was like, I just felt it coming. And it was just like, oh, it's getting worse. I said, Dad, I'm getting a migraine. We got to go. And he was like, all right. And it's about 40 minutes from the church. He went to the church with me to my house. We get there at a certain point. I just vomited because it made me so nauseous. The migraine made me so sick. I threw up on my shoes. I tried to catch up most of it like in a Walmart bag. My dad was so gracious. He was so loving. And he was like, he pulled over to a gas station so we could like throw it away real quick, get myself cleaned off.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, I really just want to get home. So we got right back in the car and just took off once we threw it away. And now what you're saying is, you would throw me out of the car to be on the side of the road.
I would
because
freak
of your
out.
phobia. Like we would have died in a car wreck. And I feel attacked right now. I feel like you don't care about me.
Okay, it's not even that. it freaks me out. Like, when I get married, my husband, I will not be dealing with
What about
any
your
of that.
students?
I
Your
literally
kids.
will be like, custodian, come here. I can't.
Well, you won't have to clean it up anyway.
I know, but
they're
like,
gonna come up to you.
I'm
Miss
like,
Birdie, I'm gonna throw up.
no.
And
gonna have
I'm
to
gonna like
get
go
one.
to the
Are you
bathroom.
gonna hit a kid?
That's not my problem.
Are you going to push a kid?
You're
Welcome
worse
to
than
another
my mouth.
episode of the Great White Buffalo Podcast. I'm your host, Ben Mayfield, and today's episode is going to be vomitlicious. This is how we start off our podcast, and I think hopefully it's all uphill from here. You know,
It can only go up.
Yeah, not up Chuck, but uphill.
Okay.
So I'm
Keeps
trying to think.
getting
I wish I knew this beforehand. I would have like Googled like 15 different nicknames for vomiting.
No.
I really hope some people are listening right now. But as you see, we're on video. If you don't know, we're on YouTube. I want to say it off in the first like 2 minutes of the podcast. We're on YouTube. Go subscribe. It takes like 4 seconds. Just type in the Great White Buffalo Podcast. It pops up. Click on it. Subscribe. We really appreciate it. Yes. Our goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers in 2023. If we surpass that goal, then we'll create a new goal. But that's our goal for this year.
I feel like you can do that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's doable. We're
very,
at
very
5% right now.
Yeah, got it.
And we're
Because we have 50
still
subscribers.
in January.
And it's still January.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think
Less than 2 weeks.
So.
And
And after this,
have you subscribed
I subscribed today.
today?
Yes, I did.
So you're one of the ones that subscribed.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah, on my
so-
way here, I was like, I haven't subscribed to his YouTube. I should do that.
Well,
And so I did.
I-
I'm subscribed on like Spotify. I like follow you on Spotify.
Yeah, me too.
But okay, see I had a lot of people say like, "Hey, I've already followed you like years ago." It's like, "Oh, well, it's like a different thing."
Yeah.
I also had to learn not to take it personally when someone says, like, someone who I go, okay, this person obviously loves me. They've supported me over the years. And I go, hey, do you subscribe? And they're like, no. I was like, okay, well, why not? And they're like, I don't know. I just haven't had time. It's like, it takes less than a minute. We live in such a world where you can't just go click on it. So I have to take it. I try to not take it personally. They love me.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to subscribe to everything, and I get that.
I subscribed on Friday, on my birthday.
Wow.
That was my birthday
I think
present to you.
that was a selfish plug of it's my birthday, and
my
you haven't
birthday.
said anything yet. So, well, you don't know when this
kidding.
podcast is going out. So this podcast, I may not release this till April.
True.
And so now everybody's like, "Oh, Lauren's birthday's in April." And
No.
so
January.
it's in January. But to my left, we have Miss Kathleen. How are you, Kathleen?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Ben?
I'm so excited that you're here today.
I'm thrilled to be here, actually.
We're newer friends.
Yeah, we are, yes.
Like, I would say less than a year and a half.
Oh, yeah.
Less than a year. 6 months. Like
2
August.
weeks-ish.
2
A few
weeks.
days, maybe.
Hey, my name's Ben, by the way.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm glad. Is it Kathleen?
Yes.
Kathleen.
Yes.
I'm really glad you're here today. And then, as you can see, Kathleen is on camera. If you're listening on Spotify and Apple, you're like, Ben, we're not seeing anybody, and that's fine. Well, we had 2 more people in the studio. Next, we have Miss Lauren. How are you?
I'm Gucci. How are you?
You're what?
I'm Gucci.
Gucci? Like an expensive branding club?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm great.
I feel like she's trying to be super hip and cool.
No,
for
I
all of our
always say
younger
She also said it kind of
subscribers.
with an accent. I'm Gucci.
Gucci.
I'm Gucci.
She's like, my
I'm
name's Lauren.
Gucci.
Subscribe to my
I'm
own,
Gucci.
Instagram page. And then to my right, she is silent but deadly,
Yeah.
which is great for podcasting. It's Miss Cara Bennett. How are you, Cara?
I'm good. How are you?
Cara, technically, I've known the longest.
Yes.
Yep.
I've known you two about the same amount of time. I've known Cara for over 6 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Maybe
that's a long
longer.
time.
I can't do math.
And
It's
she's
been
just
longer than
young.
6 years.
Probably about 6. Maybe.
6?
No, I don't know. Maybe more than 6.
I would say 8.
Yeah.
8 years.
I've known Nathan about 8.
Yeah,
So.
okay, about the same. Yeah. 8 weeks, 8 years.
Definitely
Right.
longer.
And you're all in the same podcast episode. So what does that
That's
mean about our
pretty cool.
relationships?
I mean, it took
Yeah.
6 years,
I
8
mean,
years to.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know, Kathleen, first of all, I want to say I really appreciate y'all being on here because I've been trying to get some new people to come on to the podcast. I love when Nathan comes on. I love it because he and I can talk about spiritual stuff. He's hilarious, but it also feels like for me as a podcaster, like I want to try to get some new faces on here and try to get some new perspectives on things. And I say that Nathan and I are doing a podcast later this week, so so subscribe if you. We have a lot of Nathan fans. I found out because I've had several people come up to me like, "Man, I love your podcast with Nathan." I'm like, "Oh yeah." They're like, I said, "Would you listen to the episodes without Nathan?" They're like, "No." I was like, "All right."
Is he almost like co-host level?
Yeah,
or
he's
not-
almost
not quite?
co-host level. I almost text him to come today
Oh my God.
with y'all, but I don't
Yeah,
have a
come
5th
on.
mic.
That would have been fun, though.
Oh, it would have been so much fun.
That
Oh,
would've
hey
been
Nathan,
maybe
if you're
next
listening,
time.
you should come right now. But he's
Mayfield.
fantastic, and so I just love that I'm getting 3 new perspectives
Yeah.
about life, about faith, about hilariousness. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about is starting off with Kathleen and Lauren, and Cara can obviously join at any point, chime in at any point that you want to. Okay? Are you listening to me?
Yes.
Any point you want to. This is your show. I've known you for 8 years. Barely for 8 weeks. And here's the thing. Lauren, Kathleen, and I have both, or all 3 of us, are in some point of our education career. I'm a teaching dropout, burnout.
Burnout is a better word.
Burnout's a better word?
Burnout.
Okay,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
dropout.
not
Not
dropout.
dropout.
No.
Burnout. I've taught for all of 2 years. What's up?
Nice.
And Kathleen is in her first year.
Correct. Yeah.
And then Lauren is student teaching.
Yes. Senior
So,
year of college.
so we have like 3 different perspectives of teaching. And I want to ask you, what has been the biggest challenge of your education career so far? I know it's very early on, but I think what's really cool about this, while you think of your answer, is everybody who listens has had some challenges with work. Whether it's, whatever career field you're in, you always have challenges. And challenges can either let you know that maybe I need to do something different. If it's not a challenge I really want to take on. But also challenges can help you grow. And help you grow as a person, help you grow in your skill sets and your knowledge and who you are within that role. So I love challenges because it lets you either diverge to something that you are passionate about and go, ooh, this is not quite my thing. Or it's something, ooh, I'm gonna grow from this experience. So what's been a challenge for you going into your first year?
That's a tough question. I will say, first of all, it's been very rewarding. And I love how you talked about, that challenges teach you a lot. Like, I feel like I've learned a lot already, and I'm only halfway through. The biggest challenge, probably, that's a loaded question. I think the transition from, like, being a student teacher where I had the support and guidance to, like, being completely on my own. Like, I am alone with 25 7-year-olds.
It's scary.
All day long, and it's scary.
Yeah.
And it's not even the teaching part of it. Like, I feel like UNG prepared me so well for the teaching and, like, lesson planning and how to do my job on paper, you know what I mean? But there's so much more that, like, you're not prepared for. Like, for something just as simple as, like, setting up your room to, like, a kid that has anxiety attacks every single day, or, like, is crying all day long, or is sad because their mom passed away, like, last year, or their dog is sick, or something as simple as, like, I don't know, they fell down at recess and now they're gushing blood, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this.
What grade level are you at?
Second.
Okay, yeah.
So they're 7 turning 8 this year.
Because I remember my first year teaching, and I felt confident of my abilities, but there's just a lot of unknown factors that even student teaching, you always have someone there, or you have like a coach you can always go like ask. Either they're like, I'll step out of the classroom for a little bit, let you dip your toes. Well, it's still their classroom.
They're always there.
You know, they're always there.
Yeah.
And so when you're like the person, and they're like, hey, how do I do this? You're like, let me, oh crap, I gotta answer this. Yeah, do this. like,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, and I
exactly.
taught middle school, so I didn't have to deal with as much as you did, but we had to deal with different stuff.
yeah.
We had a lot of games,
Still a lot,
and
no matter
fights and
what.
stuff,
Yeah.
and dating drama.
Ugh.
Oh
There's
my gosh!
Oh, there's some of that
There is
too, and so
some
you
dating
dating
drama.
drama.
I
was in love with him. Wait, how long did you date him? I dated him for 2 days. Like, oh my god! And you can't be like, just shut up and move on. You have to be like,
Get over it,
oh,
kid."
cool. I'm so sorry that he broke your heart. It's like, dude, what are we doing here? And then 2 days later, I got a new boyfriend.
Oh my God.
It's
Right,
like,
right.
okay,
And they're
all
in
right,
love
whatever.
all over again.
I
Yeah.
don't,
Absolutely
y'all,
not.
I don't know if y'all were that type of girls
No,
growing up.
No.
No,
No, I
definitely
didn't even
not.
talk to boys. And if I
She
did,
still
I punched
doesn't?
them because I had a crush on them.
You punched a lot of guys?
I did.
Because you had a crush on
Yeah,
him.
Yeah, but like
That
just
was
like
your love
friendly.
Just in the playground, just like punching kids.
Like friendly
they'll
on
fall
the
in love with
shoulder.
me.
Like, oh my gosh, stop it, Ethan.
Well, wait, who's Ethan? Wait,
Yeah,
did
we
you just
can
reveal
dive into
something about
this.
yourself?
No, it was like my middle school crush.
Ethan. If you're
Ethan is a
listening.
I had a
huge subscriber to
lot.
this podcast.
I had a lot of crushes. Like there's Jake, Jack, Ethan.
She's name dropping.
She's
Andrew.
name dropping crushes. We've never had that before on this podcast.
Y'all, I
Maybe
like
they're
me some cute
listening.
boys.
What if they are? Yeah, they might.
That
But
would
she
be crazy.
also just fit the narrative that I just said of like, it broke my heart. 2 days later,
True.
Jake. 2 days later, Ethan. 2 days later,
There's a
Hunter.
new one.
Like,
Right.
Yeah,
Typical.
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 What about you? What are some challenges that you feel like you've had to face as a student teacher?
Okay, well, I'm full-time student teaching now. Last semester and the year before that, I student taught only 3 days. So this semester is my first time teaching, going in full-time. But the biggest challenge I've found with my specific class is how emotional they are. Like, they're so emotional. If I don't call on them, they cry. I'm like, I'm sorry I didn't call on you. Life's not fair. This is how life is.
Which
What-
I think
what
is a
grade is
new
this?
thing.
First grade. They're in first grade.
Do you do that too? Like, if you don't call on a kid, do they get upset?
No, my kids aren't that emotional, but they are very emotional. And I feel like that's a post-COVID thing, honestly. And
Yeah,
I didn't
'cause
teach
they don't have-
pre-COVID, but from what I'm hearing from, like, veteran teachers, like, that's one of the changes. So, I mean, that could
I think
be.
it's like something to do with like social interactions. And I mean, like these kids were, okay, I don't know, 3 when COVID hit. And I feel like the 4 through 6 age is like when you learn how to interact with other kids. I mean, because when you're 1 to 3, I mean, you don't really.
And you learn
the
that,
kids.
like, not getting everything you want is okay.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like not every situation is like this, but sometimes if they're at home all the time or, you know, they kind of don't. Other kids aren't an issue, I guess, interacting with them. And like
I
if
agree.
another kid gets the attention that they want,
Yeah.
then they don't know how to navigate that because they're
Yeah.
used to mom and dad being there all the time. You know?
Exactly. And like the other day, I mean, we do have some students who are special needs, but the other day I asked a boy to hold the door open, and he was like, then he literally started crying and like ran off. I was like, what are you doing? And he said,
How
I
did
don't.
you say it
He's a
though?
little
Were you like, hold the door now?
No,
He
he
was like,
literally started crying, and I was like, no. I was like, don't give me that. I was like, no, you're gonna hold the door. And then he ran off, and I was like, come back here and hold the door. I asked you to do something. You are going to hold it. I was not having it.
She's one of those teachers.
I am one of those
She's a
teachers. Well, that's
toughie.
also how my mentor teacher is. So, but that's good because I came from EBI, which you have to yell at them all day. Like, I mean, not all day, every day. Otherwise, they will not do what you ask them to.
Emotional behavior.
Emotional behavioral interventions, or it's EBD.
Yeah,
Emotional
disorder.
behavioral disturbance.
Disturbance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it's evidence based.
All these acronyms y'all just throwing out there. I was like, okay.
I know,
Yeah.
that's another thing. They're throwing out
Yeah.
acronyms all over the world. And, like, I know a lot of them from the program, but sometimes I'm like, because
I know.
every school also says it differently.
Differently, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like we say
Co-taught,
EBI,
inclusion.
but whenever, like my school says EBI, but other schools say EBD. And I'm like, I don't know what EBD is, but they're like, I don't know what UBI is. So,
But it's the same
Well,
thing.
that
Yeah.
is- from context clues, I was able to get the first two. So I was like, okay, so. But I feel like as human beings, because during COVID, I was we're still a youth minister, and people crave community. I think it's like fundamental of who we are and what God's created us to be is be in community with one another. And I remember I got permission. This was, COVID started like in March of 2020. This was like maybe the fall of 2020 to watch a movie in the gym. And everybody had to be like spread out. So I had like cones where that they were allowed to sit. And then we were going to watch a movie. I remember the movie was Megamind because one of our youth kids, shout out to Garrett Moore, was like, who was just on the podcast, was like, we gotta watch Megamind. I was like, all right, dude, whatever. So it kind of became like an inside joke about, oh, we'll watch Megamind. And I hope I don't get in trouble. I don't think my church listens to this. But we watched about 20 minutes of it, and then the cones started getting closer
Naturally.
and closer.
Yep.
And then I started realizing, oh, they're all sitting right next to each other, all talking like, so what have you been up to? What have you been, blah, 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 and like this catching up. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to get fired because they're breaking the 6-foot rule. And so then I was like, all right. At the time, it was like, if you're outside, COVID can't exist. So I was like, all right, we're going outside. No one wants to watch this movie. And everybody just went outside, and we just sat down in the parking lot and just talked, and I caught up for 2 hours.
That's sweet.
Just everybody so we didn't even watch the movie. We did eat all the candy and popcorn. So I understand what you're saying when there's like this little maybe component of community that has been missing and interacting with one another. But I'm hoping it's been long enough or getting to be long enough where that will hopefully recorrect itself. But it was tough. It was definitely tough. Cara,
Yes.
what about you? What about your teaching experience?
0.
0?
Absolutely none.
You do get to see me come home from work every day exhausted. So
I
that's
do. I do
A
that.
glimpse into it.
I did do camp, so I taught little kids, but it wasn't teaching
Well-
in that aspect of,
Yeah, but summer camp is super crucial, I believe.
yeah.
I think kids who go to summer camp, like especially overnight summer camp, benefits them in that social aspect. They know how to interact, make community. Is that the type of camp you worked at?
No, this was a day camp.
It was a day camp. Okay,
So-
all right. Day camps are also great,
yeah.
But it was great because, I mean, I feel like since you didn't stay overnight, you had to more so communicate with them well during the day because you only had limited time with them. So,
You had to be more intentional.
yes.
More intentional. I like that a lot. Well, we have crushed the topic of education. Unless there was something you wanted to say, or you wanted to say about teaching. I don't want to cut you off.
I don't know. It's
It's
just
worth
worth
it.
it. Like what exactly? Like
Wait,
wow.
did y'all just say it at the exact same time?
Wow, yeah.
worth
It
it.
is.
hard, but
it
it's
really is.
so rewarding.
Yeah.
Is it though?
And it is because
It is.
I felt at the beginning of the year I felt so guilty whenever I had to get onto my kids, and then like 5 minutes later they would come and give me a hug and tell me that
Yeah.
they loved me, and I'm like, I'm not worthy because I literally just yelled at you for like 5 minutes, and now you're
They'll forget you by next year, though.
No, they
No.
remember me
I still
forever.
remember
I'm just
all
kidding,
my
I'm kidding.
teachers in elementary school.
It's because that was only like 5 or 6 years ago for you.
Dude, I'm 23 now.
Oh.
So that's
As
like,
years
of
ago.
Friday, once again, her birthday just
Yeah,
happened.
yeah.
You didn't know.
Yeah, in case you didn't know. Shout in the
Shameless
comments,
plug.
happy birthday to me.
happy birthday, Lauren.
Like, I don't want to say anything, but like, it's my birthday.
Yeah,
It
I
was
did
last
just
week,
turn
so-
23, so like just a couple days
Shameless
ago.
plug.
Year of Michael Jordan. Let's go.
Oh yeah, it's your Jordan year.
It is.
He was 23 and he's the GOAT. So this is your GOAT year.
Greatest of all time. Per.
I used oh my gosh. In case you don't know, and Lauren is a unique character. She's not on camera right now, but
No.
she's a unique character. You want to get on camera and
Sure.
wave? So for all of our YouTube subscribers, this is Lauren.
There she is.
Wait, maybe like okay, I
Wow.
don't know if you're on camera, but you're there close enough.
There.
And Lauren says "per," and at first I thought she was saying it because her last name was like, it's Purdy, and so I thought like, okay, she's using her last name as like a verb, like Mayfield, like what? Like,
May.
yeah, like May. I was like "per." I was like, okay, that doesn't really make sense. Or maybe she's like a cat lady, like I don't know.
Yeah.
And it turns out I don't know. Why do you say "per"
Okay.
with 7 R's?
So, technically it's like around 3 R's. Okay, it's Purr. But if I'm like ooh,
R.
R. But so I was on a beach trip last spring for spring break with my friends, and my friend Abby and her roommate Lila started saying "per," and I was like, what the heck? That's so weird. Like, ugh, I don't like that. And 2-3 weeks later, I was saying "per" like all the time. So
And this is our intervention actually for you.
no,
Yes.
No.
Per.
"per." It's so
Do you
catchy.
hear anybody else saying it though? Can't say it's catchy if your friends are not caught on.
Cara has actually texted me a couple times saying "per."
But is she
I
doing,
spent like all my time with her, so it just it's catching on.
are you saying it ironically to her, or are you like naturally saying it?
Naturally so.
Oh my
Only to her. Only
You've
to
been
her.
purred. Oh my god. Oh, I never thought in all the 8 years that I've known you that you'd be purred.
I've also gotten Nathan to say it.
Yes.
He's like "per queen," yes.
But he only says it to you.
Yes.
Yes,
I only say it to
me.
her.
Yeah, she only says it to me.
Oh,
I say it to
wait.
everyone.
So you don't say it outside of Lauren
No.
context.
No.
I say it to my
You're not
kids.
like at work going purr.
No. They would look at me like I was an idiot.
I got you.
Are
Do
you
you
saying
say
I'm
purr?
an idiot?
Only
No.
around Lauren.
Only
Yeah.
not talking to
Yeah.
your students like purr. They're like,
Her slay queen.
like they don't
No,
go
but-
home like my teacher taught me purr today.
No,
Wait,
but
do
my
you say it in the
kids-
classroom?
Yes, she does. No, my
Yes.
kids know what slay is. They're like, oh,
Slay.
like they'll be like, Miss Metzger, that sure is slay. I'm like, oh, thank you.
You're
You're
slay.
7, so. But it means the world to me, honestly.
I think mine was lit when I was a kid. They were like, oh, that's lit, Mr. Mayfield. I was like, yeah, so.
There was another one
made
when
it.
my brother was in middle school, and he said it all the time.
Was it Calabunga?
YOLO.
No,
Yellow.
it was something like
Ka-chow.
lit.
Ciao.
Isn't that like from Lightning
Lightning-
McQueen?
Yes.
Yeah, from
Ka-chow,
Cars.
chow.
That's my like comfort movie, Cars.
Really?
I love that movie.
I mean, it's a great movie, but
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. Do you watch it a lot? Like,
No, not
Okay.
a lot, but if I'm doing work and I want something on the TV behind me, it'll either be New Girl, The Office, or Cars.
I worked at a summer camp,
iconic.
an overnight camp, so it's like a real camp here.
Yeah. Whatever.
Shots fired.
Shade.
That's right. And these girls, they love Disney, right? So like, okay, they want to watch Disney movies, so they invite all the boys, like all the counselors, so we're all like college age kids, to their room to watch a movie one night, and it's Emperor's New Groove.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
good
that's
Fantastic.
a great movie.
That is a great movie.
Love Emperor's New Groove. The next night, they're like, "Hey, y'all want to watch a movie again?" We're like, "Oh, that'd be great." They want to watch Emperor's New Groove.
Again.
And the boys, there's only 3 guys on staff, me and 2 other guys, were like, we just watched this. And they're like, yeah, we're going to watch it again. And so we were kind of like uneasy about it. I was like, okay, but we'll watch it again? The next night, they invite us over, and they're like, we're going to watch Emperor's New Groove.
No.
And I go, you're pranking us.
Why?
I love Emperor's New Groove. I think David Spade did a great job. Oh God, I used to be able to do the voice. Cusco. I can't do it right now.
That was pretty good.
That was
Yeah,
good.
But like does like, hey Cusco.
Yes.
But anyways, it was fantastic. Loved it.
It's a good movie.
We said no more. And so they're like, all right, y'all don't have to come. And we thought maybe they were pranking us. And they're like, okay. They watched it 70 times that summer.
No
70?
way.
70 times. And their
Ain't no
goal
way.
was to memorize every single line and then be able to reenact it. And I was like,
Did they do
that
it?
defeats the fun of like
That does.
just watching a movie.
You can never watch
and
it again now.
Being in
Yeah.
community with one another. But then, I'm sorry, I'm going to rant right now. Because let me tell you this. Not only did they watch Emperor's New Groove like 70 times, shout out to Shakia and Morgan, love them to death.
Yeah.
The boys did. So I had my own room because I was the oldest. Matt and Dowdy, shout out to my boys from Jekyll. They had their own room. They had a share. And so they watched a movie called The Other Guys.
Oh, yes.
And The Other Guys, if you don't know, it's a Will Ferrell movie. Mark Wahlberg came out like 2010, and it's
Okay.
like 2012. So it's like 2 years later. And so I kind of remember it, and I was like, it wasn't really the best movie. But they're like, we're going to watch this movie instead. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. I'll watch it with y'all. And we watch it, and it's good. The next night, they're like, hey, we're going to watch a movie. You don't want to go watch Emperor's New Groove. I was like, yeah. What are we going to watch? The Other Guys.
No.
And so I said, boys, y'all are doing the same thing that the girls are doing, but with a different movie. And they're like, yeah, but it's different. It's like, no, it's not. And so, but I will say, we started watching it, and I think I watched like 5 times that summer. And I think they only watched like maybe 10. They didn't do as much as the Emperor's New Groove. But we would start quoting the movie like as we were watching it because it's very quotable. Mm-hmm. And then outside of watching the movie, we would quote the movie in our daily like talks
Oh, yes.
and how we were. And then and it came to a point where like in the movie he goes like, when was like your last desk pop? And he goes, September 08. And so, like, that's one of the quotes. Despot, like, he shoots a gun off in the office, which is a police office. You don't do that. That's the joke.
No.
Okay.
But we'd be like, when's your last lunch? September 08. You know, like, we just say something like that, like, just kind of quote. And then the one that I did all the time, and I loved it, became a thing, was in the movie he goes, like, his watch goes, I was like, hey, guys, it's 5:50. Let's have a great day. Like, you know, and someone says, shut up, Heisman. Like, this is kind of a joke. So I would do like, hey, everybody. Hey, it's 10 o'clock. Let's have a great day. And I like clap. And everybody's like, oh, okay. Like, kind of like, what? But then I would just keep doing it. So it'd be like, I don't know, 4 hours later. Be like, hey, it's 3 o'clock. Let's have a great day, everybody. And like, and I would do it so often that when I was an RA at North Georgia, I brought in the same joke.
You were an RA.
I was an RA at North
Oh my
Georgia.
gosh, where?
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about that in a second.
Okay, sorry.
So I was an RA, and I would do it so much that the whole RA staff, I'm talking like 60 plus people, I'll be like, so someone would go, hey, Ben, what time is it? I'm like, oh. Hey, it's 11:15, everybody, let's have a great day. And the whole staff, everybody would clap. So we had like 70 people clap.
That's awesome.
And it all comes from a movie, though, where like we just brought it
from
in.
camp. That's amazing.
From camp.
Iconic.
So,
Wow,
I
that's
love
kind
it.
of how Cara is with New Girl. Cara
Yeah,
can
she
quote,
can quote
from, we'll
everything.
be watching it at the house, and she'll just like start like whispering to herself. But and I'm like,
Wait,
what are you saying? And then I've realized over time that she's like
Just
saying
quoting
what
it.
the TV is saying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is amazing. How are you doing this?
Or I'll quote it like a
Yeah.
whole like 10 minutes in advance, and people would just like stare at
Yeah.
me. And like
Yeah,
10 minutes later,
she
they'll
does
say the
that
quote,
too.
and then they like everybody laughs, and I'm like, I know.
I wonder,
Yeah.
like, what movie, if those listening, like, what is the movie or TV show that you can quote the most to? Because,
Sure,
like,
New Girl.
one year we went to go watch School of Rock, which I love
so
School
good.
of Rock. And this girl, it was not cute, though. She was like, I can quote, like, every scene to this movie. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like, you know, people say that, like, oh, no, this... She proceeded to quote every scing of the movie,
time.
and it was annoying
That's hilarious.
AF, as the kids say.
Yeah.
Because she would be like, whatever Jack Black would be like, and then it was synchronized. And we're like, haha,
That's
the
so
first time, like,
frustrating.
haha, okay, all right. Hey, Erin is her name. Shut up! Like, we're trying to watch the movie, and she's like, okay, guys. And like,
Yeah.
and like, she thought if she kept quoting it, we would just be impressed and just watch her the whole time. Like, oh, Aaron, what are you gonna do? I know what they're gonna do because it's in the movie. Let me just watch the movie.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that makes
Sometimes
sense.
I am like that, but with very specific movies. Like, okay, Captain America: Winter Soldier. I can't quote like all of it,
Fantastic.
but just freaking phenomenal. And same with like Pride and Prejudice. I could probably quote that entire movie. It's so good.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Okay,
but-
well, you need to watch
haven't
it
seen it
because it
yet.
will change your life.
What's your favorite quote from Pride and Prejudice?
You have bewitched me body and soul, and I love you. I never wish to be parted from you from this day on. And then she says, well then. And then she says, your hands are cold. And then they put their foreheads together. And then it switches over to the scene in the office when they're both talking to her dad about it. And they switch off.
Wow.
Well, okay.
I am like the opposite. Like I'll watch a movie and then as soon as it's over, I completely forget everything that happened. And somebody will ask me what that movie was about, and I'm like, no, I don't know.
Is that why you keep watching Cars over and over? So you can like, I will
Yeah.
understand this plot at some point.
No, yeah.
It's like, it's not very hard. It's just cars that race. You're like, no.
I guess it depends on the movie. But we watched this like scary movie one night, and then I remember enjoying it, and I remember going home like to visit my parents the following weekend, and I was like, you know what movie was great? And I told them what the movie was, and they were like, oh, what was it about? And I was like, honestly, I have no idea, but I remember that I enjoyed it.
Which one was it?
I don't know. I don't remember what it was. Oh, I do remember.
Was it
No,
I
it
don't
was
like horror movies.
no. It was about the woman who she was like dreaming, like daydreaming about killing her husband, and then we realized we realized that like she has trauma from the past, remember? And then there was
Okay.
that guy
With the
that was
school?
blackmailing her. Yeah, and then the school.
the
It was
shooting?
super
Wait,
intense.
what's
It
that?
was very
It's
intense.
called Luckiest Girl Alive.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think
on
I want to
Netflix?
see
Yes.
that.
No, it's a good
yeah,
movie.
it's good. Yes.
I've seen it twice now, but
It has.
Because you don't remember the first time you watched it.
yeah, no, that's
I've
what it
seen
was.
this before.
Well, that's how I am. I'm like, I enjoyed it, but I
don't
couldn't tell
know.
you details or anything about
I've
it.
watched
was
some
good.
movies multiple times. Like the John Wick movies, I'll watch those. Fantastic. Harry Potter, I've seen all those. Star Wars, seen all those.
Never.
But it's because I enjoy watching them, not because
You forget.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Can I tell you,
Some of them are like that though.
I think my dad listens to the podcast, so I'm afraid to tell this story because I love my father. Dad, I love you. You're my hero, but I want to tell this story about my
Here we
father.
go.
Talking about movies. He talks during the movies. He loves going to the movies, right? Like he wants to go to the movie theater. He'll buy my ticket. He'll buy my popcorn. So I'm he'll pick me up and take me. Like, I'll pick you up. And I'm like, all right, Dad. And I love it. I love father-son time. But he'll go, hey, so this scene over here, where do you think they filmed this at? You know, it looks like they're maybe in Georgia. I'm like, oh, what? I don't know. Dad, shut up. There's like people around us. You know, people talking is like, you know, when I was in the war, we didn't use guns like that. You know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, Dad, what are you... I'm like, stop. Like,
Yeah.
'cause you're not using like even a whisper voice.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking loudly.
You need to bring a notepad the next time y'all go so you can
Yes.
write notes and you can
Yes.
debrief after the movie.
Oh my gosh, that would
About
be fantastic.
That's
what
The other thing he does though is he'll get ices, and once again, I love you, Dad. Please don't take this personally. He'll get ices, a Coca-Cola icy, or they have Pepsi products at Regal, so he'll get a Pepsi icy. He'll drink the whole thing, which is fine, but then he'll go like get to the bottom of it and like try to get it,
no.
and then he'll pop. One time he couldn't get the lid off, and he was like. I'm like, oh my god, just take the dang lid off. Couldn't get it off. Pops off the lid and it's like, oh yeah. And then gets a straw and it's like scraping like trying to get the last bit. And I'm
Not
like,
during the movie though.
it's pretty loud and obnoxious and right next to me. I'm like, stop.
But like, I'm not loud about it. I just kind of pop the lid off and then But like,
You don't think you're loud about it.
I'm definitely
Everybody else hears
no.
you.
Here, okay. Number one.
Clip it.
Number one. Alex Prather. That man. Watching a movie with him.
Shout out to Alex. We love him.
Alex, love you, but that man talks so much during movies. Every time we go see a movie in the movie theater, he talks so loud. I'm like, shh.
Oh my
But I can't tell him shh because then I feel bad. Because I feel bad about everything.
No, my mom she doesn't talk during the movies, but she reacts very loudly. Like, even if we're at home, it doesn't bother you as much.
gosh,
But if we
Yeah.
go to the movie theater and we're watching a scary movie, she'll audibly go like, oh my God. And I'm like, Mom, like, that scared me more than the movie did. And then everybody starts looking, and I'm like,
My mom does
girly.
that too. And it's just-
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was scary, was it not? Like,
That is exactly how it
like
is.
yeah, we all picked up on that. That's why like we did not need you to say it out loud.
It's so funny, but I'm like, girly.
It's funny now. It's not funny
Yeah.
at the time. You're like, oh my God. I have a shout out to one of my interns. Her name is Ruth. Talking about people that like audibly react. We'll be driving, so I'll have 2 interns in the back, and it should be like shotguns. And now she's banned from sitting shotgun because we'll be driving. That's my alarm.
Alarm for what?
I accidentally said it, don't know how to unset it.
Okay.
It's my alarm in my bathroom that I don't know how to take off. All right.
We'll figure it out.
We'll have to cut
You're
that
gonna
out.
Go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Speaking of loud noises, I had this intern named Ruth. I'm going to restart the story. That way it's more continuous.
Right, yeah.
I'll call
Yeah.
this out. Speaking of loud noises, I
Yeah.
had this intern named Ruth who I love. She's wonderful. But when we're driving, I'll have 2 interns in the back and she'll be in the front. And we'll be driving and, you know, going to Walmart. She'll be like, ah! I'm like, oh my God. And I'm the one driving. Right? I'm like, oh my God, like, what's going on? Like, and I immediately my heart stops. I think, am I about to get hit? Is someone cutting lanes?
Yeah.
Am I like driving the wrong way? She was like, so and so liked my post on Instagram. I'm like,
It has nothing to do with what's
oh
going on.
my
Oh
gosh.
my
I said,
gosh.
Ruth, sweetheart, shut up.
Right.
Like, don't scream
Oh.
while I'm driving. And she was like, oh, sorry. And I was like, okay, all right, whew, we're done.
Like, give me a heart attack just
Like,
now.
We're
I
in a
can't-
parking lot, and like, so that was the same trip. We're in the parking lot. We go shop at Walmart. We're leaving Walmart. I was like, I'm like, oh God. And I thought, because there was this car that was backing out of a parking spot, and I thought they were about to hit us, so I like swerved. And she was like, do you think so and so likes me? And I was like,
Oh my.
and she's talking to the interns in the back. So now she is banned. I'm sorry, that kind of hurt my throat. Doing the whole thing. But she's now banned from sitting in the front.
Yeah.
She has to sit in the back now.
How old is she?
She's a senior in high school.
Girl.
Boy
I was,
drama, you know?
I'm not gonna, I
Yeah,
may or may
back
not
to
have been
that.
the same way.
Boy drama. Are all 3 of y'all single?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I am.
No.
For now.
Officially single.
Officially
Yeah.
single, yes.
All right.
But
But
not
going on
available to date.
dates with a person.
You've been on a couple dates with a person?
I've been on like 5 dates. Well, I mean like 4 real things, 4 like official, and then we've like played tennis. You know, we went to breakfast this morning.
Oh my.
This
you went to
morning?
breakfast this morning?
See, Cara don't tell me
thought
anything.
you
and I
worked
got
today.
beef with that.
I did, but we went at like 8:30.
Oh my gosh. Where'd you go?
Waffle House.
You know
Oh.
it's real when it's early morning dates.
Yes.
And
He was
he
coming back
drives.
from. He
Yeah.
was hanging with his friends, and he was coming through to Loniga. So it only made sense for us to see each other.
Only made sense.
Naturally.
Wow.
Did he pay?
Yeah.
Yes.
What? He paid for the Waho?
Yes.
Yeah.
How
Absolutely.
did he get?
man.
What did he get?
Yeah.
What
He
was
got
his
the
order?
All-Star.
Up.
Okay, because he is an
Iconic.
all-star.
That's a green flag.
Hey now,
Hey now.
you're an all-star. Get the game on. Yeah, we're going different routes with that. I was going the.
Wrong song.
Oh, she started singing. Hey, is that like
Hey now.
Hillary Dove?
This is what you're
That's
No,
a generation.
no,
gap.
we're doing
That's
it.
funny.
Yeah, we're doing all-star.
You're an all-star.
Because he
Hey
ordered
now.
an all-star.
Yes.
Go. Play.
Continue though.
Sorry.
That was it.
What did you get?
The hash brown bowl.
Sausage or bacon.
It's bacon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Switching it up.
Yeah, she's not paying, so.
Yeah.
As well. True.
Jeez.
True.
That's
Rack
been
it
my
up.
go-to recently.
Well, since all 4 of us are single, what could we do to get relationships? What are we doing wrong?
That's a great question.
We
I
want people to
mean-
call into the TV show, the
think I'm
Grandma
doing
Buffalo
anything wrong.
podcast. Oh, you don't think? Okay,
no,
wow.
Literally, I'm Cara.
I went to Waffle House this morning, and so
gone
like it's a big deal.
A guy has paid for my dinner before. You know? My dad has paid for my dinner and my brother's. Actually, no, not my brother's.
That's
just my
cool.
dad. That's about it.
I mean, my dad's paid for my dinner like multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times.
Is that a
that's the
brag?
only
Is that a
man
flex?
that's ever paid for my dinner.
Well, I've had a few because I've dated
Yeah.
guys.
Well, I haven't. So.
All right, Cara, you're coming off a little bit braggadocious.
Yeah, you need to
on
like
this
take
guy.
it
All
down.
of our
Simmer
listeners right now are like, this
You're up
Cara
here.
girl is a
This is
villain.
the worst.
She's
All
the
right.
villain.
Like, if this was a Disney movie, like, you're definitely not
Mother Gothel.
the winner. You're like Meg from Hercules. Kind of grayish area where she
I've
lies.
never seen that, so.
Well, that's a personal problem.
Yeah.
I've also never seen.
You've never seen a Hercules?
I haven't seen a lot of movies, Ben.
Yeah,
like
From
I
the
neither of them
Disney
have.
movie? Hercules?
I really haven't seen. Like I didn't grow up watching TV.
I didn't grow up like watching Disney movies.
Yeah.
Did you guys
What
have
about
like
Mulan?
a VHS?
Oh yeah, I love Mulan.
It
I
came
don't
out the
love
same like
Mulan.
year.
You
Or
haven't seen
close.
Mulan?
Which one is that?
Let's get down to business to defeat.
I know that song, but I
The
don't know.
Huns.
I don't.
She dresses up as a
we might
guy.
get
You know,
demonetized for that
Okay.
because that was so spot on. They might think we like put that song in there.
That's
It wasn't. It was all natural.
Yeah. Totally.
So you've never seen that one either?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Kara, we need to have a movie night.
Did you have a childhood? What did you watch?
I don't know.
She played outside. In the
Yeah, I
river.
played outside.
She's a nugget. They're both
Okay.
different.
First of all, don't say that as a derogatory term.
I'm not. It's not. Are you a
Okay.
nugget?
Yes, but also like,
Definitely not a derogatory term. I think it's cool.
that's called backtrack, right?
No, it's not.
You're one of those nuggets.
Dude, look at
Yeah, she's saying her
Esteban.
butt.
Esteban like
What about
hikes and rock
Esteban?
climbs and all that stuff is cool. He's a nugget.
He's more of a nugget than we are
Yeah. He was born in Dahlonega.
in the Chesapeake
Oh yeah,
Hospital.
hospital. Yeah.
I was too.
I was not.
She was born in Florida, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a Florida.
Right, that explains some
Oh.
things.
Yeah.
So we will just people from Florida, but not locals. All right. Well, I don't know. I was just thinking about this the other day about dating and stuff because this girl, her name is Kelsey. She's pretty awesome, and Kelsey was like, we were chit chatting. She like slid up on one of my stories, like, "Oh man, that's so cool." And we went to college together, and we were always like really good buddies in college. And she was like, "Ben, why are you single?" And I was like, "Girl, because you didn't ask me out."
Yeah,
Like,
you
what's
want
up?
to change that?
Yeah, I was like trying to I was about to be a little flirty. She's like, "Well, I have a boyfriend now." And I was like, "Okay, all right." So I went the wrong angle with that. Okay, cool.
Backtrack.
Backtrack. Did not know that.
Playing.
Not trying to get beat up. And so I was like, I don't know, just whatever. And she's like, I was like, I said something about like, well, you and I never worked out. This is before I knew she had a boyfriend. And she was like, I had a crush on you in college. And Kelsey is very gorgeous. And I was like, WTF? Like, how was I supposed to know that? Like, you had a boyfriend. She's like, yeah, but you never even like asked me out. And I was like, well, why would I ask you out? You had a boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, yeah, but you never showed interest. Well, why would I? You had a boyfriend. Like, I'm not trying to like cross boundaries.
Well, did she
and
have a
get in
boyfriend the
trouble.
whole time you knew her though?
Yeah, well, because we were all raised together, and that's like the year that we
Okay.
kind of like got to know each other. And then she stopped being an RA and like did her own thing, and they broke up. They actually, I don't want to tell her whole story, but they dated for a couple years after that, and then broke up. So after they graduated. So, anyways, and she was just like, Ben, I think you're cute, and I think you're wonderful. I think you should I really want you to get yourself a girlfriend. And she was like really hyping me up.
That's so
Out of
sweet.
nowhere too. Like I don't talk to her at all, and so that was just like kind of encouraging. So like
Yeah.
in 2023, not that I have to have a girlfriend, but I feel like I need to put myself out there,
Be more confident.
more confident,
Yeah.
more vulnerable, to get out of my little comfort zone. I'm a doctor now.
Yeah.
And
So
a reverend.
surely, and a reverend, so surely
Yeah,
they can get me a date.
absolutely.
I don't put the reverend on there
Okay.
because some girls get kind of weird out of like, that I'm gonna be like not preachy, but like judgy a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I am a reverend. I'm proud of it.
Yeah, you should be. proud of that.
So I don't know. I don't know if y'all have the same type of little confidence of like,
Yeah.
whatever happens this year happens, but I'm gonna put myself out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because y'all are what, 23? How old are you?
22.
22. Oh, you're 22. I didn't know. How old are you?
25.
25. And that's why she's braggadocious, because she's
Yeah.
the oldest
Right.
one here. She's
Yeah.
like,
Yep.
I've dated around. Okay.
She's the oldest girl here. You're the oldest person
Yeah.
here.
But
Yeah,
I
I'm
haven't
only
dated
21.
around.
Yeah, totally.
Well, do you have any advice for us? Since we're all semi-single and you're semi-not.
Not really. God's timing is the best timing.
You ever been to improv?
All I ever hear.
You ever been to improv?
No.
You never say no in improv. You say yes and. So
Yes, and
God's
No.
timing.
God's timing.
Oh my God, this is great content.
It's just, I mean, literally last year, okay, so I'm 23. Technically, I have been on one date, but I do not count it as a date because I didn't know, okay? But my whole life, everyone's like, God's timing is the best timing. I'm fully aware. It just drives me insane, you know?
I've never told anybody
Because
that.
I'm 23, and I've never been on a date with anyone, never talked to anyone romantically at all. Think a guy who likes my picture wants to marry me. Like,
Wait, so you went on a date but didn't know it was a date?
yeah, I didn't know it was a date.
What, did he buy your dinner?
I had too much anxiety, so I couldn't eat. I was freaking out.
Why were you freaking out if you didn't think it was a date?
Well, because, okay, I didn't think it was a date, and I just kind of showed up wearing t-shirts, some athletic shorts, and my Tevas. I mean, that's what I wear every day. And, I mean, we were going to the Avalon, and
Okay.
I grew up going there because my private school, I say private school, it was a school that had you wear jeans and a t-shirt. It was not, like, bougie, like $30,000 a year. No.
She has some insecurities about being in private school, but that's okay. All right, continue.
I do. But it was in Alpharetta. So after school every day, we would go to the Avalon and like just kind of walk around, not buy anything because we were all broke high school and middle school kids. And I didn't think anything of it. I was like, fun, back to my stomping grounds. And my friend Emma was out of town. Otherwise, I would have asked the guy if we could invite her. But she was in Colorado doing her own thing. But he picked me up and he was wearing like a polo and some khaki shorts. And he detailed his car for me. And I was like, okay. And he told me he detailed it for me. I was like, wow, your car's so clean. He's like, yeah, only the best for you. And I was like, ooh. I was like, oh no. And I started texting Emma and my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm gonna go die in a hole. Meanwhile, this is all in between getting ready for my brother's wedding and taking 5 online classes over the summer, which kicked my butt, and moving.
Wait, so I'm confused.
What?
This guy said, let's hang out and go to the Avalon.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
You said yes. He picked you up. You made a comment about his car being clean, and he probably just made a little funny look.
No.
Like, girl, yeah, only the best for you. Like, whatever. Really may have just got it done just because my car needs to get detailed just because it's gross in there. And then you're freaking out already.
Okay.
30 seconds into it, texting your mom.
Yeah, no, because...
And Emma going, this guy is taking me on a date.
Because I have really, really bad anxiety. Okay? It's so bad. And I just did not... I was playing out all the different type of scenarios in my head about what was going to happen. And I was like, I don't want him...
What do you mean what's going to happen? Just going to Avalon.
Dude, I
You're
had
friends
never...
with him already, so
Yeah, I know, but
You
I
know
had...
who he is.
But I had never talked to a man, like a guy before like this, or I've never been on a date. And like, I didn't even like him.
You said it wasn't a date.
Okay, but it was a date, but I don't count it as a date.
So what makes you think that it was a date, though?
Okay, because Emma told me it was a date because he told Emma that he thought the date went well. And I was like, it
Okay, first of all, that was post then. That was post. You said that he thought it was went really well. It was a great date. So you at the time didn't know it was a date.
Yeah, I had no idea.
It wasn't until afterwards.
Yeah, because he texted
So
me.
why was your anxiety going crazy?
Well, because once I got in the car, I realized I was like, crap, this is a date. Like, does that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
Well,
Unless there's a girl spider sense that I don't know about, where y'all are like,
yeah,
you
this
can
is
tell,
dating.
you can tell. I mean,
Because there's
you
a difference
can.
between, like, if you hang out with a guy, like, that you're friends with,
Yeah.
and then you hang out with him alone, and it's, like, all of a sudden kind of weird.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
oh, is this more, like, is
this
he
more?
expecting
Does he
more
wanna be
than
more?
I am?
Yeah.
You kind of, you get
And I
the
just
vibes.
felt bad. I
Okay.
felt bad because I mean,
Was he cute? Okay, all right. Well, he is cute. You just didn't find him attractive. 'Cause
yes,
he's-
I don't find him attractive.
He's a
Yes.
beautiful soul.
Yeah.
And he's a huge subscriber to this podcast. And he's actually in the waiting room right now. Hey, Josh, you want to come out? I'm just kidding, I don't know what his name was.
Absolutely not.
Well, I get that a little bit because there has been times where I've been friends with a girl and then kind of have liked her, and so I've gone like, I'm like, hello, would you like to go? Like, like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, like
Yeah.
you become a little more proper.
You start
like, I
asking
should light a
different
candle. Oh God, I
questions.
gotta light a candle because girls like candles.
You're trying harder to impress her,
Yes.
because you don't
Yeah.
need to impress a friend, but you
Yeah,
want to
that's
impress
true.
somebody you're interested in.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know if y'all listen to the Great White Buffalo podcast. I'm sure y'all are all like subscribed on YouTube
Oh, yeah, number one
and
fan.
Spotify
Oh,
and
yeah.
Apple.
Right. Like and
sure.
comment.
Love it. But we like to end every episode with a nugget of wisdom. All right? Because that's a double entendre about nuggets. We're from Dahlonega and gold.
Yeah.
But also, like, it's like people use that as common knowledge, like nugget of wisdom. And so we like to, like, whether it's a season that you're in right now, something like a little mantra, something you live by, or if it's something from the podcast, whatever it may be, what is your nugget of wisdom that you would like to tell people at GWB? And who wants to go first? I love when this section comes up. Everybody immediately starts going.
I feel like Cara should go first because she's the
Me.
oldest of us,
A nugget of wisdom.
and you're a nugget, so
8 years versus.
Oh, I know what hers
8
is.
weeks.
God's timing
it's everything.
is everything.
Just trust in God, which is true, but
A joy that's given to others is a joy that's given to you. That'll be my nugget of wisdom.
oh,
Joy
cute.
given to
Nice.
others, the joy
So like you give
given
people
to
joy, and then you'll receive
And
that
return
joy
to
back.
get that joy.
That seems
I
a
like
little
it.
self-seeking though. So I'm only giving joy, so I can then
Yeah,
receive
you
joy.
know.
True.
I don't know. I heard it
Sounds like karma.
on a little
Is that-
short one time, so I was like, that's cute.
I didn't know that was like a New Girl episode. Like Nick said it to somebody.
Give me
You're
cookie
like,
game.
oh, I'm gonna
Got you
save that
cookie.
one. Well, I'm in a bind. Gonna say that.
Yeah.
Kathleen, what is your
gosh.
nugget of wisdom?
Well, it did kind of make me think when we were talking about our singleness, but something that I'm trying to do this year is just being more content. More content, I guess, within the season of life that I'm in, and like seeking joy in the season that I'm given, and not putting pressure on anything, but
Yeah.
like being content where I'm at, because we say it as a joke, but like it's true where I believe that God has us exactly where we need to be, and I take that in like my relationships, but also like when I think about my career too, like I am exactly where God needs me to be. So wherever you're at in life, you are exactly where you're supposed to be.
If we had another hour, I would want to dig into that.
I can come back.
You come back because I want to push back on a little bit. I'm not gonna do it right now,
Okay.
but I want to.
Okay, let's do
Just
it.
because even for myself, I've said that to myself multiple times, and I go, but
Well,
not-
you can.
we don't have to get into it.
Okay.
But you definitely have to come
I
back.
have some thoughts. Okay.
And when you get Nathan here, because then he'll be like,
Oh,
Oh, I would
well,
love
so and
this.
so,
He will
Philippians.
play
I'm like,
devil's
all right.
I love
advocate.
that.
Yes,
I love
you
that.
will.
I'll
Yeah.
be back. Don't worry.
And that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm doing devil's advocate. I'm not like against what
Oh, no, I'm open.
what you're saying because I think that is a negative wisdom. What is your per advice?
Dude, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, everybody went before.
I know.
you.
I've been trying to think.
Is that hard for you to do?
Yes. Yes. May the force be with you.
May the force be with you. That is a fantastic nugget of wisdom. May the force be with you. I love it.
Trying to think.
The Force is the Holy Spirit.
Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, you don't have
I
one.
have something better, but I can't think of one.
Well, you'll have to come back on at some
Okay.
point and do it
Per.
then. Oh my gosh. Mine's going to be this. Sometimes in life you have challenges, and the challenges can be something that makes you self-realize that maybe this is not quite what I need to be doing, or it's a challenge that's going to help you grow into what you're supposed to be. Because sometimes I think if you're doing something, if you're, a square peg trying to get into a hole and you find that challenging, it's because you're not where you're supposed to be. And then if you're somewhere where you're a square peg but the square is a different angle and you have to work on it, it can be a challenge, but it can be the right fit. You just have to grow into it.
That's good.
And so that's where I'm at with that. That's kind of a good season that I'm in right now, trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to do that honors God and glorifies Him the best way possible. So that's my nugget of wisdom.
Good.
That was a
I
good
mean-
nugget of
I
wisdom.
thought of one. If you want me to say it. Or
Oh,
do you
now
want me to save
you
it?
have one?
Yeah, I thought of one.
I thought May the Force Be With You was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what do you have?
Mine was don't let your past define you, but let it shape you into the person you're supposed to be and the person that God wants you to be or shaping you to be. Yeah. Because, I mean, we all go through stuff, if that makes sense, but I don't let it, like, define me. But I will let it, like, shape me. And it's made me into the person I am today.
Wouldn't you say
Yeah.
a define would be also a shape? Like if you're a
Like-
Potter,
But,
they call it definition.
like, define. Like, say...
I'm messing with you. Yeah. Define.
Yeah. Just say yes. Just say yes.
Great.
Just nod your
I
head.
feel so shaped by what you said,
Thank
but not
you.
defined by what
That's
you
a
said.
great nugget of wisdom.
I honestly, the best nugget. Okay.
Okay.
The best nugget today.
Per.
Her.
That's fine.
Her.
Yeah, you like that, right?
Yeah.
You know what?
That's great.
You're
It's
on camera,
fantastic.
so they
Oh, I'm
can
on
see.
camera, aren't I?
Yeah.
We loved it. She did a great job. Anyways, well, we just want to say thank y'all, Kathleen, Lauren, Cara. Thanks for being here today. Cara, thanks for not
Thank you.
texting throughout the whole episode. Really appreciate that.
Anytime.
Texting your BF.
Thanks for having
Yeah,
us, Ben.
she's on here. Thank you.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
fun.
thanks for
You
having
the
us.
best.
Yes, thank you.
I'm
the best.
so excited.
We're on YouTube now, so if you would please
Like and
subscribe, like our videos if you
Hit
would.
the bell button.
Hit the
for
bell button.
notifications.
Yeah.
I tried to do that, but it didn't work, so you'll have to help me.
I also don't know how to do that, so we need to work on that. We're also on TikTok for all
Yep.
those younger viewers, and then we're also on Apple and Spotify. So we love y'all. We appreciate you, and thank you for listening to the Great White Buffalo Podcast.
Wandering through the great plains of life, things move fast, sometimes a blur. Don't you let this bumpy road separate you from the herd. And when you think the day is done, the sun is getting low, we're all looking for something rare, the great white buffalo, the great white buffalo podcast with Ben Mayfield.